Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Lens of Love devotional. Merry Christmas. We are the day after Christmas currently, and what a beautiful gift, right? That this Christmas season holds, right? Christ was born unto us. And this morning in my prayer and devotional, there was a little excerpt about Saint Thérèse of Lisieux. And so I knew that that's what God was calling me to talk about today with all of you and to share with all of you. Also many things. He's like, just be present is the message that just kept coming up. That was really strong. It's like, okay, I hear you, God. I'm hearing you. So today I wanted to talk about Saint Thérèse of Lisieux. Now I first really honestly learned about her probably about 3 or 4 years ago, when I went to a retreat called Set the World on Fire. It was done up in Timberlake, South Dakota, by my sister-in-law and three of her amazing friends. They did this. I found this tucked away in the book. It was done by Krista, Megan, Becky, and Kristen, and they all have such unique stories. And these four women just were doing a Bible study together. And then they felt it on their heart to share this with other women. And it was at that retreat, I was really frustrated with my faith. And I was angry. I was like, I don't connect with the priest. The church doesn't fulfill me. I go somewhere else and I feel so much more fulfilled. Hello. Good morning, Christy. And I think a lot of us can relate to that, right? Have you ever, been in either your church or another church or a group where you're like, oh my gosh, I need to go over there because it's funner and it's more exciting. And I grew up with this like my whole life because my mom, both my real mom and my stepmom, were Lutheran Protestant. So I would actually go to both churches. I would go to the Catholic church and their church because their church was like, it was fun. It was fun, right? It wasn't as structured. And so I would do both, and I would just like pour into my faith. But it was at this retreat where I just felt like every time I go to church, the priest is basically yelling at me. I felt like an awful person, just the way he was delivering the homily. And then like the church just didn't feel as vibrant for me, as especially being up around my sister-in-law and all these amazing women. I'm like, your church is amazing. And it was at that retreat, because I told my husband, I'm like, I need to leave. I need to leave the faith. I need to leave the church. And let me tell you, I'm a Catholic. I was a cradle Catholic. I am still a Catholic. I've considered many, many times leaving my Catholic faith. And I realized in that moment, at that retreat when I was doing some reflection, that God just spoke to me. He said, your faith is your responsibility. It is not your priest or your pastor. It is not the community. It is up to you. And I was putting it into everyone's hands. I wanted everyone else to make it fun for me. I wanted everyone else to make it easy for me. And it was at this retreat where I realized, like, that's my job. That's my job versus just waiting around or just like putting it into someone else's hands other than God. And so this book changed my life. And then I led a similar Bible study. I can't recreate those four women. But I led a Bible study with this book at my own church after that, about 6 to 9 months after that. And it was just really beautiful. But this book talks about the four female doctors of the church, and Saint Thérèse of Lisieux is one of them. And we have a little bit in common. And so I just wanted to share some of those things. And I wanted to share how she had such a big impact in this life, and still a big impact. Mother Teresa, used a lot of her, precepts. Saint Thérèse of Lisieux was just kind of a tiny little woman. And she joined the convent at age 14 or 15, like very, very young. She lost her mom. Her mom died when she was 4 years old. My mom died when I was 4 years old. And I just felt like an instant connection, right? Like, who is this woman, right? Like the pain that she went through and what that led her to. So she joined the convent at age 14 or 15. And then she died like in her 20s. Let me see if I I think it was around age 24. And so she was kind of like a little like frail, like sickly kind of woman, but she talked about showing us how to love God through a little way. We often think like I have to clear my whole schedule for 4 hours and I have to go to a retreat for a week, or I have to go on a sabbatical, or my prayer book and my prayer has to be so like perfect. And that's not true at all. We can love God in such a little way. And that's what he wants us to do. That is what he wants us to do. So I'm going to just read this little excerpt from the book here that she wrote. She has a book called The Story of a Soul. I have not read it yet. I think it's kind of deep. But if you have read it, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. But she wrote, if a little flower could speak, it seems to me that it would tell us quite simply all that God has done for it, without hiding any of its gifts. It would not, under the pretext of humility, say that it was not pretty, or that it had not a sweet scent, that the sun had withered its petals, or the storm bruised its stem, if it knew that such were not the case. So again, her writing is like very deep, but essentially it's talking about like this little flower, like would not hide its beauty. It would not hide its scent. And I have a favorite quote from Marianne Williamson that shares, shine brighter so that others can shine bright in and through God, in and through this work in this life that he's given us. And what do many of us do, right? Like we shrink, we want to stay safe, we stay small. We are not praising him in all of the little ways. And the little way that Saint Thérèse talks about, and she like, if you see her, she's probably got like a flower with her, right? Like that was her thing. Like it was just like the beauty in this flower, right? It's just like something so simple. And that is what God has led me to do for myself and for others when I help women activate, and when I activate myself, right? It's like, it can be something simple, right? The reason this whole devotional started and why it's called The Lens of Love is because of these glasses. There's so much deeper to this, but like, hey, this is like something simple. This is so simple. I can look at a heart and just like be so grateful for that and think about the love, right? Am I viewing myself through the lens of love like God does, right? We think we have to overcomplicate things or that it has to be perfect, and it doesn't. So I teach my clients, if any of my clients are listening, or anyone who's joined any of my trainings, they may have heard this, but like I will teach them, like I've done this on stage too for audiences when I'm giving a motivational speech, like look at your finger and look at your nail, like that one nail bed of that one finger, and like just tell it thank you. Like if that weren't there, I'd probably have pain. It would be sensitive. I wouldn't be able to do things. That's the little way. That's in a way, the little way, right? It's like the most simplest things, because we think that we have to like drink a bottle of wine or go on a sabbatical or take 2 weeks off to feel this peace and this joy and this gratitude and this abundance. And that's not true at all. Or we need to like have it all or nothing. Are you an all or nothing kind of girl? I used to like tell people that I'm all or nothing kind of girl. And that's what I related my drinking to when I used to drink alcohol. It's like, I'm all or nothing. I'm not just going to dabble in that. I'm going to go all in if I'm going to go drink. And so we can find gratitude in the most simplest of moments. Putting on a pair of glasses, snapping your fingers, looking at something, anything, right? I'm guessing if you looked around, even if you're not in your own house, even if you were homeless and living under a bridge, there is so much abundance around you. Right? The bridge above you probably costs millions of dollars, and thousands or hundreds of people had to create that. We can always find abundance, and it's in those little ways that are so, so beautiful. And so a scripture that coincides with this, that Kristen, who she had, so each of these beautiful women who led this retreat that I went to the first time, they each chose one of the saints who they connected with the most. And if you haven't studied women in the Bible, like please do. They're amazing. God made us incredibly amazing. But Kristen shares here, this really can correlate with Isaiah 53 too. For he grew up before him like a young plant and like a root out of dry ground. He had no form or majesty that we should look at him, nothing in his appearance that we should desire him, right? It's like the simplest thing. We don't need all of the shine and the pizzazz and I don't know what you want to call it, the sparkle, right? Like we already have that. Like that's already a part of us. We don't have to seek more of that. So if you're feeling like haven't done enough this year, or if you're feeling like, oh, I set these goals but I didn't reach them once again. I was in that cycle for a long time, and there are many goals I set this year that I didn't reach. There are many that I did. Persistence, consistency, activating every single day. But if you're feeling overwhelmed, I encourage you to just zoom in and just find something so simple, your finger. I teach my clients to like set money around their house if they're feeling scarcity around money, or scarcity around love, or scarcity around safety, right? Like you set something around your house that reminds you of abundance around those things, right? Setting money around your house. My husband set some money right here. It's like, I can look at this $5 bill and just be so grateful. I can hug it. I can kiss it. I can say thank you. And this is also why I talk a lot about gratitude in advance, GIA, right? Because many of us are just like asking for those things, like, oh, I want this, or this is what I want. Like, think about when you set goals, right? It's basically like an intention of like, I'm going to create this, but do you ever offer gratitude in advance for it? Right? It's like, I'm so grateful for what this will create in my life, what this process will create in my life. And so I just encourage you guys today to, and this week, especially after this Christmas holiday, to just find the little way, make it simpler, slow down. Pause in the moment, right? That's the truest gift of all. That's what we all want, right? We all want to enjoy where we're at right now. Because otherwise we're worrying about the past and what happened and how do we change that, which you can't. And we're holding on to that versus letting go, or we're holding on so far hard to the future. Like this has to happen in order for me to XYZ, right? Have you ever said like that ultimatum to yourself or to others? Like, well, once this happens, then once this season is over, once Christmas is over, then things will slow down. I just like out of so much love want to just be like, like, come on, wake up, stop saying that. Enjoy this moment right now. And if you're waiting for this season to get over to get to the next, you're not embracing the little way. And I admit there are times where I'm like excited about certain seasons. I'm like, oh, I'm really excited about that. Or we do have busier seasons, but just recognizing what we're saying to others in our mind. And this is a constant thing that I get to do too, right? And it's so beautiful. So the other thing that Saint Thérèse of Lisieux has come out of is like, do small things with great love, right? We don't just have to wait for the big monumentous things, right? Are you offering grace or thanks before each meal, right? No matter where you are, whether you're out in public or whatnot, people look at us all the time. I would assume my family of 5, especially when we dress up in crazy thrift store clothes, but we pause to pray any chance I get before a meal, to give grace. It's a pause. That is the little way. So start creating little ways to activate in your life, just like Saint Thérèse of Lisieux did. She lived a short little life, but she left a huge impact of just helping people zoom in right now versus looking at all of it and getting really overwhelmed. And we get to adjust our zoom all day long, every day, because if we zoom out too much, it might be really overwhelming. And if we zoom in too much, we get really like perfectionists, right? Oh gosh, I got to like focus on this and it has to be perfect. So I encourage you guys to just love God through the little way, love yourself through the little way, right? Just one thing, like tell me one thing you love about yourself. And if you can't do that, I want to talk to you because I help women with this every day. And so I encourage you to choose to activate. It's little things. It could be the snap of the fingers. It could be looking at something, one thing in your house. And just every time I look at that, I offer gratitude. Just starting with something small, and you'll find that builds. Those small things continue to just like accumulate, where all day long, then you're offering gratitude. And so she says, do small things with great love. I actually have that as a sticker. Thank you, Dominica, from Crave in Aberdeen. I was there working one day, and we love each other so much. And she handed me this sticker, do small things with great love. And that leads me every single day. So I'd love to just share a prayer with all of you today. Lord, thank you so much for the wisdom, the knowledge of the little flower, Saint Thérèse of Lisieux. Thank you for the gift that she brought to this life, for the way that she told us and showed us how to simplify things. Because, Lord, you know that we love to overcomplicate things. We love to want to make things perfect. And it's okay. We can just take a breath out and soften our shoulders, looking at one little thing, focusing on one little thing and saying, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for this message today, the words that you have led me in and through for now and always. Amen. So I thank you guys for showing up. And people ask me, someone asked me at my Goldman Sachs, like, are you always this excited? I'm like, I just really feel that everyone is so special and everyone is just such a gift. That is my message, right? That is my tagline. I don't have my a mirror. Oh yeah, here it is. You are the gift. You are, right? And so I want you to embrace that, give thanks for that, acknowledge it, right? So many times we're trying to move forward. We are trying to achieve those goals that we set. And I'm saying this because like New Year's coming up, I'm guessing you might have some ideas of what you want to accomplish in the new year. But are you doing it out of love? Or are you doing it because, oh, once that happens, then I'll love myself more? And so the fierce self-love that I help women like claim is just the greatest gift of all, because you are all a gift. And so I help women activate every single day. I have a membership as a gift to everyone, to the first 10 women who join me in there this month. And through the beginning of next year, it's $45 a month. And we'd hop on 2 live calls. It's amazing. It's incredible. And you have a whole library of little activations that are short, that are sweet, 2 to 3 minutes long, activations and meditations that help you embrace the little things. So if you're feeling called to that, just let me know. I'd love to support you. And I'll talk to you soon. So much love to you. Do small things with great love.